Hey, welcome to Good Enough Spanish. Well, my mission is to help you learn Spanish good enough to travel more, build more confidence, and get more out of life. If that sounds like you, be sure to like and subscribe to be notified, because believe me, you don't want to miss a thing. Now, this video is a sequel to a previous video that I did introducing you to the concept of Spanish stress. Now, I'm not talking about the stress that stress you out in Spanish, although Spanish can stress you out sometimes. But hey, it's not that serious. But what I'm talking about is Spanish word stress. Okay, we're gonna put the stress on the words, the part of the word that gets the stress so that you can sound more Spanish. Okay, that's what we're diving more into today. Okay, so this will level up your pronunciation skills and your accent. Okay, that said, without further ado, let's get down to it. And before I get into this too, let me tell you, it's hot as hell in this room. Okay, I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and I had to turn off the fan and that AC and stuff because it's so loud. I didn't want it to interrupt the video. But let me tell you, it's hot here, so if you see me perspiring or something like that or sweating, it's not because I'm super nervous. It's not because I'm on something. It's just because I'm hot. So I'll try to get through this video without breaking in a wild sweat, but that's gonna be a challenge. So let's get it. Whew. Where was I? So you ever wonder why some Spanish words have accent marks and others don't? Or why the stress seems to land in different places, even when the words look similar? Well, if so, you're not alone. And in this video, I'm going to break down Spanish word stress in the simplest way that I know how. Okay? Just one main idea that'll help you pronounce words more naturally. That is what you want to do, right? Thought so. Now, first off, what is word stress anyway? Well, what is it really? Well, it just means the part of the word you say with more emphasis. Just a little more emphasis. Okay? Now, before we go any further, let me say something important. Let's talk about really quickly about what a syllable is, because a word is made up of syllables, okay? And a syllable is basically a beat in the word. So every time you open your mouth and you say a vowel, which is A-E-I-O-U, that's usually a syllable, a beat in a word. So take the word banana. It has 3 beats. Banana. And the stress usually falls on that middle one. Banana. We don't say banana. We say banana. Woo! Getting hot in here. Woo! Let me finish this video. Well, look, Spanish works the same way. Every word has one beat that gets the stress. And the good news is Spanish usually follows a clear pattern for this. Now, the main thing to remember is if a word ends in a vowel, which is A-E-I-O-U, in Spanish that's I-A-E-O, or an N or an S, then the stress will fall on the second to the last syllable. That's the general rule. I got to get some air. I can't even breathe. So let me show you what I mean. Take the Spanish word casa. Casa. Well, it ends in a vowel, so the stress goes on the second to the last syllable. Casa. Not casa. It's casa. Okay? Or amigo. It ends in a vowel, so stress goes on that second to the last syllable. Amigo. Not amigo. No. Amigo. Okay? Next, let's take the Spanish word habla. Hablan. Okay, remember our rule, ends in a vowel or N or S. Well, in this case, it ends in an N, so the stress falls on what? The second to the last syllable. Hablan. Not hablan, it's hablan. So just follow that wave. Now check it. All these words follow the pattern. The second to the last beat gets the stress. Woo! Now we're making progress. Now, there are some exceptions. You know, Spanish rules seem to always have to have some exceptions. Now, there are two common reasons that words may not follow this pattern. The first, if the word ends in a different letter other than a vowel, an N, or an S. For example, reloj. That word ends in J, okay? So it's a different consonant than the N or S. Therefore, the stress falls on the last syllable. And just in case you don't know, consonants are anything other than a vowel. So either the vowels are A-E-I-O-U. In Spanish, it's I-A-E-O-U, okay? Anything outside of that is a consonant, like the N or S. So in this case, it ends in a J consonant. So therefore, it's outside of our general rule, so the stress falls on that last syllable, okay? Or let's take the word azul, okay? Ends in an L. So that's outside of our general rule, so stress falls on the last syllable. Or doctora, doctora, okay? It ends with an R, that's outside of our general rule, so the stress falls on what? You got it, the last syllable. Now the second reason is a word just might be different. And Spanish will tell you with a written accent mark, okay? So let's take the word inglés, which means English in Spanish. Oh, I'm starting to sweat, but it's room hot, but we getting through this video. Now, it is an S. So we'd expect the stress to land on the second to the last syllable, as in inglés. But no, the stress is actually on the last syllable, which breaks the pattern. So therefore, there's an accent on that E. So we know to say inglés, not English. Inglés. Got it? Good. Now here's another one. Teléfono. Teléfono. It is in a vowel. So we'd expect the second to the last syllable to be stressed. The phone. Like teléfono. But no! The real stress is on the third to the last syllable. Delay. And that's outside of our general rule. Our pattern. So there's an accent mark to show you. Woo! I had to get up and get some water. It's like I say, I'm in hot Barranquilla, Colombia. Shakira's hometown. You know the song Hips Don't Lie, or something like that. I don't know the title. If you know the title, let me know in the comments. But you know what I'm talking about. Hips Don't Lie, something goes like that. Woo, hips don't lie, da, 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 da. Something like that. But hey, you see what I gotta go through to make these videos for you sometime. So if nothing else, give me a like for that, because it's hot in here. Now, where was I? Okay, so now let's do a quick quiz to see if this is all clicking. I'll say a word. Can you tell me where the stress is and whether it follows the pattern or not? First word, Panama. Well, it ends in a vowel, but the stress is on the last syllable. So it needs an accent mark to tell us that. Second word, computadora. Computadora. Well, it ends in a vowel, and the stress is on the second to the last syllable. So it follows our pattern. Third word,
examen. Examen.
well, it ends in an N. Stress falls on the second and to the last syllable. So it follows our pattern. And fourth word, difícil. Difícil. Well, in this case, the accent mark tells you where the stress goes because it breaks our usual rule. So here's the big takeaway. In Spanish, the stress usually falls on the second to the last syllable, the second to the last beat. And if it doesn't, it's either because the word breaks our rule and ends in a letter other than a vowel or an N or an S, or there's a written accent letting us know that it's breaking our pattern and the stress is going to fall on a different syllable than usual. Woo! Boy, it's hot in here. If you got value from this video, do me a favor, reach out and smash that like button. And be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified because you don't want to miss a thing. And until next time, remember, don't let Spanish stress you out because you don't have to be perfect. Just be good enough. I gotta turn on that fan. Whew.